It's our annual Black Friday Tips Experts Mashup episode, a simulcast on the Keep Optimizing and eCommerce Masterplan podcasts.
You're listening to the Keep Optimizing podcast to increase your traffic, improve your conversion rates, and grow your profits.
Hello and welcome. I'm Chloe Thomas, the host of this marketing-focused podcast. For many of you, this will be the first time you're hearing a Keep Optimizing episode. So hello, welcome. If you're one of our awesome regular listeners, hello to you too. It's great to have you here. And please bear with me whilst I quickly tell the newbies a little bit about the show. So normally, each month we focus on a different marketing method like email or SEO or Facebook ads, and each week I interview a different marketing method expert to explore the latest advice on making it work for you. So the first 3 weeks of this month have been all about marketplaces. I know, not technically a marketing method, but it is a way of getting more sales. And the whole of October is going to be dedicated to TikTok. Yes, we're going very, very shiny new social media platform for October. But we like to reserve this last week of September for our annual Black Friday Top Tips Roundup. Just what should you be putting in your Black Friday plan this year? And should you even be doing Black Friday this year? To tell all, I've brought together 7 e-commerce specialists with wildly different areas of specialism to share their top tip for Black Friday 2022 and to give their point of view on who should and should not be doing Black Friday this year. Plus, I've put in a few of my own thoughts on it all too, and you'll get my summary at the very end as well. Okay, before we meet all our experts, let's do the super fast FAQ bit for you. Okay, number 1, when is Black Friday? It's 25th of November in 2022. Number 2, will this also work for you on Cyber Monday? Yes. All these tips will also work for Cyber Monday, 28th of November, and Singles Day, 11th of November, or to be fair, any event you are running. Number 3, is Black Friday just one day? No, Black Friday is not just one day. As a e-commerce promotional opportunity, it's kind of as long or as short or pretty much whenever you want to make it these days. Number 4, do you have to run a discount on Black Friday? No. It's your business. You do what's right for you. Much more on that coming up in the show. Number 5, are there some notes you can grab? Well, yes, there are. At keepopt.com/BF, so keepopt.com/BF, we have summarised the whole episode for you and provided the transcript. So listen now, and then when you get back to your desk, go to keepopt.com/BF and grab the notes, and quite probably listen again if you want to as well. And do make sure you listen right to the end of the episode, because you do not want to miss out on any of our guests' advice. Plus, I'm going to sum up and share my take on it all at the very end. So stay tuned to the end. This podcast is brought to you by Klaviyo, the email and SMS platform built just for e-commerce brands. If you're marketing an e-commerce brand, you already know that data changes everything. More data means more power. And if your email or SMS tools can't handle all that data, they're probably holding you back. That's where Klaviyo comes in. Its top-notch personalization and segmentation help you send the right message at the right time, guided by unlimited real-time data from your online store and tech stack. Request a demo at klaviyo.com/masterplan. That's KLAVIYO.com/masterplan. Okay, so I think it's fair to say that 2022 is going to be one of the most interesting and most challenging holiday seasons many in e-commerce have experienced. The path to success is going to be very different from recent years. The privacy shift and increased competition have fundamentally changed the e-commerce landscape. You need more focus on your creative, and to do that, you need to be really connected to your customers. The winners this year are the ones who listen to their customers. And the supply chain crisis and rising inflation are making it harder to sell. Your costs are going up, your customers' disposable income is coming down. The news is miserable. I mean, isn't it just at the moment? You may as well also have limited stocks. You haven't got much you can sell. And who knows what COVID winter number 3 is going to bring us. That may all sound a little depressing, but please, please, please do not feel depressed. It's challenges like this that make marketing fun and often lead to great success. Plus, many a successful business started its path to success in challenging economic times like these. And I'll share some free resources you can dig in to help with all that at the end. Now, the key is to get clear on what your playpen looks like this year. Before you start doing any planning, you need to know where you're at. So, how is your stock looking? Which customers do you want to focus on, new or existing or something else? What does the mix look like? Which channels are you going to focus on? What's the core messaging and creative going to be? Loads for you to consider. Our guests are now going to be joining us one by one to share their advice, and they're going to cover all of that and much, much more. You really are in for a treat with this year's selection. We're going to start with a simple, often overlooked but yet hugely powerful tip from Chaya Oosterbroek, COO at Yoast. And by the way, I think the arrival of the Yoast Shopify plugin has been one of the most exciting marketing developments on Shopify this year. So it's very, very awesome to have one of the Yoast team here. Here's her tip.
So I would say in general, over the last years, we have seen so many brands joining the Black Friday movement, you could say. So consumers are really primed. So if you think it fits your business, I would say just go for it and be a part of that. And I think a big mistake that people make is that they create a new page for their Black Friday sale every year. So in example, Yoast.com Black Friday 2021 and Yoast.com Black Friday 2022. And then they either keep these pages forever, so Yoast.com Black Friday 2021 starts to rank for 2022, or they delete them afterwards and then all the SEO value is lost, of course. So these persons are starting again and again each year. Instead, the tip is to have a single page for Black Friday with the same URL. You have to keep this one alive, and then all your content, marketing, link building, etc. gets stronger for this page each year. In the end, you end up with a strong Black Friday page that is more likely to rank high in search engines during Black Friday.
I love that. So simple, so powerful. And it's exactly what we've done with this podcast episode on the website. It is on the same URL as last year's Black Friday episode. I was not going to let those SEO juices go to waste. Plus, even if you're not doing Black Friday this year, if you've got a Black Friday page lurking around, put something good on it. And if you want to check out the SEO awesome that Yoast are bringing to Shopify, then head to keepopt.com/Yoast to find out all about that. Now let's stick with clever marketing stuff you should be sorting out now for maximum impact. It's the always awesome, always badass Jessica Totillo Costa.
Do I think all brands should do Black Friday this year? In 99% of cases, I would say yes. For that 1% who shouldn't, those would be people who still have major supply chain issues or are just transitioning from in-person to online and haven't quite caught traction yet. Maybe you don't have the bandwidth to do it well or have never seen traction with holiday in the past. Or you might just be a luxury product who has really never done sales on Black Friday but still see crazy results because people just want what you have. I'm sure there are others that fall in the 1%, but those are all client examples I have witnessed firsthand. If you're part of the 99%, my top tip for you to lean into your email marketing. And if you've heard me on the podcast before, you knew I was going to say that, right? So in addition to increasing your frequency, optimizing your automations, and teasing your offers in advance, all things I talked about on these previous Black Friday mashup episodes, number 14 and 66, if you haven't heard them, is to use October for list building. While the majority of your Q4 email sales are going to come from people who engage with your brand in the first half of the year, that doesn't mean you don't have an opportunity to grow that email list with some fresh new leads so that you have more people to sell your products to during Black Friday weekend. Whether it's a product recommendations quiz, an educational PDF download, or even just a promise of early access for your holiday products, make sure you carve out some time in your marketing calendar where your number one goal is to get more people on your email list. Make it the key call to action on organic social media, and maybe you even put some money behind it with paid ads. And this is a good practice throughout the entire year. I like to carve out a solid 2 weeks or even a month here and there where my number one focus, the main KPI I'm trying to improve, is that list growth. And if you really want to get ahead for next year, make sure you pencil in some time during Q1 and Q2 of next year to grow that list so you have more people engaging with you in the first half of the year, because they are the ones that are most likely to buy from you during Q4.
Doesn't Jessica just always bring the goods? An awesome rundown of brands who really shouldn't be doing discounts on Black Friday. Great cross-episode promotion. I mean, she's better at this than I am. And email tips. Great email marketing tips. Get those email addresses captured. Make your Q4 performance better. Now, Jessica is an email strategist and founder of eCommerce Badassery. She's currently offering a brilliant toolbox of goodies to help you plan an awesome Q4. And you can find the details of those at keepopt.com/badass. We've reached expert number 3. And I may have mentioned this very, very briefly at the beginning, but we have barely discussed creative. Such an important thing you have to up your game in this year, be it copy, be it graphics, be it your messaging. Really needs upping this year. So let's right that wrong with our next guest. Here is Nest Commerce's Arnaud Betourne.
Simply put, yes, I think all brands should be doing something during Black Friday. Whether or not this involves discounts or not is a different question altogether. I think what many advertisers surprisingly forget to realize is that Black Friday is more than just the offers and discounts, but it's also, if you change the perspective of it, it's also an opportunity to make the most of a period of high intent. Everything else is noise, and we think that working towards understanding your brand and what works best and getting that message across is key. In terms of a tip around how to execute that, with the increase in competition, Black Friday and Cyber Week coinciding with the World Cup, growth in performance hackers looking for the golden egg, and advertisers in general finding ways to optimize in platform, we believe creative is one of, if not the key distinguishing opportunity and levers for brand to cut through the pack and stand out. This starts with ensuring constant testing throughout Q3 to understand, again, what formats, what messages resonates most, and how you can attract attention, essentially to drive conversions when it matters down the line for Black Friday.
As Arnaud says, it is too high intent a time period for you to ignore. Such a good point. Even if you're opting out of the discount frenzy that is Black Friday, it is still an amazing time to be selling. I know brands that have done no offers at all, not even had a Black Friday logo on their website, and yet they have still had their best day of the year. So please start testing your creative, your message, your offers, the video, the graphics. Get testing. Take advantage of the fact that consumers are holding their cash to see if there will be a Black Friday discount. Listeners, remember to stay tuned right to the end so you don't miss out on all our experts' tips and my summary, because we're not even halfway through yet. This podcast is brought to you by Klaviyo, the email and SMS platform built just for e-commerce brands. If you're marketing an e-commerce brand, you already know that data changes everything. More data means more power. And if your email or SMS tools can't handle all that data, they're probably holding you back. That's where Klaviyo comes in. Its top-notch personalization and segmentation help you send the right message at the right time, guided by unlimited real-time data from your online store and tech stack. Request a demo at klaviyo.com/masterplan. That's KLAVIYO.com/masterplan. Okay, back to Black Friday, and we've still got 4 experts to share their tips with you. So far, we've looked at your marketing prep. Now, let's turn to the less sexy side of e-commerce. Is it less sexy? Is it more sexy? Debate, please. And consider how you're going to get the Black Friday sales to your customers. Here's Brightpearl by Sage's Mark Hook to explain more.
I think all brands should be doing Black Friday this year, but what they really need to do is make sure they're geared up to manage increased orders. That's really important, from making sure your retail operations through to your warehousing, inventory planning and customer service is all tip top before you go into Black Friday. Why that is important is because half of companies actually struggled to meet Black Friday demand last year. That's according to a Brightpearl survey. The result of that was huge numbers of orders were delayed. And as you might expect, that resulted in many unhappy customers. Point being is it's really no good using your Black Friday to have a ton of sales and then struggling to fulfill those orders, because you may get a single sale, but it's not going to translate into repeat business. And that's really where the real money is made. So in terms of top tips for how people should be getting their house in order before going into Black Friday, my tip is to make sure you automate the order processing and shipping side of things as much as humanly possible. It will save you a ton of time, and it's going to give you that breathing room, which you will absolutely definitely need to make sure you can manage demand, make sure your customers get their items on time, are happy, and come back to you in future.
Now that is what we want, happy customers who come back to us in the future. So if it is all about customer acquisition for you this year, your customer service needs to be great so you can retain those customers. Set up your warehouse team for success, set up your couriers for success, set up your customer service team for success, and you will get a much better long-term outcome from the event, and you'll have a much happier team as well. Last week, I was part of a whole summit that Brightpearl organised about being set up well for peak. So head to the show notes for a link to those replays if you want to dive into those. That's at keepopt.com/BF. One more of our experts' tips really focuses on the prep work you can do to improve results. So we'll hear from her next. Then I've got the two last tips for you that put forward some alternative views. Time to get your CRO, your conversion rate optimization, in order with Jordan Owen, head of UK sales and country manager at Mollie.
Black Friday has become the sort of day now where shoppers expect nearly all brands to take part. So yes, my recommendation would be, in general, you should take part in Black Friday sales. That does slightly depend on your brand positioning in the market. It's much less common, obviously, for a luxury brand to participate in Black Friday, because typically heavy discounting on luxury products isn't something that fits with their brand strategy. But in general, yes, Black Friday can be an amazing way to acquire new customers, and can be the peak point of trade for a lot of businesses in our book, for example, across the course of the year, and therefore can generate a whole amount of new revenue and also recurring revenue on an ongoing basis. So in general, my recommendation would be yes, with some exceptions. And I think my top tip in terms of how to capitalize on the opportunity would just be, and I'm biased here because I'm speaking from someone that has worked in payments for the last 8 years, but really focus on optimizing your checkout experience, because it takes a lot of effort, time and money to get a customer onto your site in the first place. You've ordered your products in the right way, you've thought about the right discount campaign, and to have them get all the way to the cart and then abandon it is pretty painful for any business. And I think some helpful stats to guide you on how important this is would be 60% of shoppers abandon their cart if they don't see their preferred payment method. And actually 80% of businesses end up running cart abandonment campaigns to try and encourage people to return to the site, which are also expensive. And it's not to say that you can't weed out abandonment completely, but there are a number of things that you can do to heavily reduce it. One of those is making sure you've got all the right payment methods on your site. The second is that the actual payment page and checkout feels like it's staying within your style of your business, and it feels like the customer is safe from a security perspective. They don't feel like they've left anywhere. And also trying to make the checkout as, in as few steps as possible. So having it fast, offering things like digital wallets. We've seen the impact of Apple Pay across various businesses from a conversion perspective. And that's a perfect example of how customers will generally choose to submit details in a way that removes friction for them.
Lose that friction. And this piece of advice in particular, the sooner you do it, the better your whole business is going to do. This is something to get in place for Black Friday, but it's not Black Friday specific. So make sure your checkout is rocking. Make sure it's accurate. You've got the right payment methods. You've got the minimum number of stages and fields to fill in. That delivery is really clear. How, when, and price. Get your abandoned cart set up right and be clear on what's going to be running in that during your promotion. Nothing worse than your customers working out you're giving them X percentage off as part of Black Friday, and then if they wait another 2 hours, they'll get another 10% off because you left it running in your abandoned baskets. Be smart about it, people. And double check on the day that all and any promotions you set up are actually working. Okay, let's go a little more strategic now with Monica Sharma-Patnekar, brand and growth strategy coach for conscious e-commerce entrepreneurs.
Simple answer, no, not all brands should be doing it. It really comes down to the foundations of your business. Who is your customer and what value and benefits are you really bringing to them with your product? And therefore, does a Black Friday promotion fit that? Example, I work a lot with conscious e-commerce entrepreneurs. Doing a Black Friday promotion just wouldn't fit their brand. So my top tip, though, if you do choose to do this, be really intentional about it. You don't just have to do discounts and bundles. There's so many other ways to participate that are in line with your brand values. Examples, you can do double the rewards. You can do something only for your loyal customers. There is a brand that actually increased their prices with $1 and donated that to charity over the weekend. So think about really back to your foundations and be really intentional. What does my customer want? What do I want to offer them? And then decide if it makes sense and how.
Make it yours. Make it fit with your brand. Don't go and do something really odd because you'll weird out your own customers and you will also fail to attract the right new customers too. Brilliant answer there from Monica. And we're going to give the final word to Tanir from Prisync before I summarise it all for you.
Well, I mean, I think there's nothing bad about participating in a global shopping event, but I think the way that a merchant would participate matters more than participating or not. And what I'm saying is that I think Black Friday, Cyber Monday has become a, let's say, longer event than before since the beginning of pandemic, because we got used to shopping online each and every day, we were already used to that. I mean, but I think, got more used to that. So as a result of that, I think Black Friday, Cyber Monday no longer has a specific date of shopping, but it kind of takes weeks of time. And I think maybe the right way to participate might be picking an irregular day and announce that as your Black Friday, Cyber Monday day. So let's say instead of maybe the end of November, October, you can just pick an irregular day in the middle of October and, announce that as your discount day and make discounts while your competitors are not doing, just to make your offers more attractive. And instead of kind of getting lost in the noise of all those discounts pumped out during Black Friday, during the regular Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
So don't get lost in the noise. Be a bit different. Go deep on it, but pick your own day so you get that cut through, you get seen by your customers. And if you're going to do that, I highly recommend letting the customers know ahead of time when you're going to be doing it. Okay, so how on earth do we sum all of that up? Well, number one, I think the key thing this year is that you really need to make Black Friday your own. When it happens, why you're doing it, and what your promotions look like. Number two, to do all that, you need to give yourself time to prepare, to do the pre-testing, and to make sure you get those basics right. So prep. Number three, e-commerce marketing has changed a lot this year, and I think our tips reflect that. There's no miracle marketing method that's going to do the job for you. In fact, barely a marketing method's been mentioned. Rather, it's about getting the basics right and being set up for success to make sure that whatever you do works and delivers for your business. Okay, like I said at the start, I suspect you're going to want to re-listen to this one. And to help you get all you can out of this episode, head to keepopt.com/BF, so that's keepopt.com/BF, where you will find a link to this episode's show notes. There you can get a brief recap of each tip, a transcript of the whole thing, contact details for each of our experts, recommendations for future learning as well, including links to a few podcast episodes, both from Keep Optimizing and from our sister podcast eCommerce Master Plan, that I think you'll find really useful to build on some of the topics that have been mentioned. Once you get to the website, you can also add yourself to our email list so you don't miss out on any of the other things I share to help you improve your business, like our recent Keep Optimizing series on getting ready for this challenging holiday season, and our Surviving the Supply Chain Crisis deep dive that we recently did on eCommerce Master Plan. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Keep Optimizing podcast. Make sure you tune in next Wednesday when we'll be starting even our series of 4 shows about TikTok. So make sure you're subscribed to us or following us on your favorite podcast player so you don't miss out on that. And if you know someone who's particularly interested in getting their Black Friday plans nailed, or they want to understand the TikTok opportunity better, then please do let them know these are the things we're covering here, because this is the show that exists to help you and them improve their e-commerce marketing. Have a lovely week and make sure you listen to our next episode so I can help you to keep optimizing your marketing.
Access everything Keep Optimizing at keepoptimizing.com. That's with an S, not a Z.